What happens when a superhero's image of perfection shatters and the darkness within takes center stage? In a world filled with iconic superheroes like Superman and Captain America, is it possible to explore the depths of moral dissent and the consequences of unchecked power? Enter Homelander, a character from The Boys who challenges our perception of the traditional superhero archetype, which makes him a prime candidate for solo movies of his own, bringing something new to the silver screens. As we delve into the twisted psyche of Homelander, we ask, can this dark superhero redefine our understanding of the genre, and what lies ahead in the exploration of his character in the future? Now that somehow you have been living under a rock and are not familiar with it, let me introduce you to the Homelander, aka John Gilman. This guy is a character from the comic book series and media franchise called The Boys, created by Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson. He's the big baddie in the story. The Homelander is a real piece of work. He's a super powerful leader of a group called the Seven, who are a bunch of corrupt and pleasure-seeking superheroes funded by Vought American. Oh, and he's the arch enemy of a guy named Billy Butcher, who is part of the team called the Boys, hence the name. But here's the twist. While the world thinks he's a noble and altruistic hero, the Homelander couldn't care less about the people he's supposed to protect. In the TV show on Amazon Prime Video, they've got Antony Starr playing this character. In this version, the Homelander is the power-hungry offspring of Soldier Boy and also happens to be the father of Ryan Butcher. This guy even makes appearances in some spin-offs and promotional web series, like The Boys Presents, Diabolical, and Death Battle. And guess what? Both the character and Starr's portrayal in the series have gotten some serious praise. People say that the Homelander is like a living symbol of how the world sees America, and they even compare him to Superman and Captain America. Crazy, right? If you have clicked on this video, you most probably know the Homelander from the Amazon Prime show, so we're not going to bore you with that. Instead, let's talk about why he needs a movie of his own, because he takes the evil superhero idea to fruition. Okay, let's break it down. The concept of characters like Homelander has been brewing for a while, and both DC and Marvel have dabbled in the exploration of morally complex superheroes. It was only a matter of time before someone, in this case, The Boys comic book, hit the nail on the head. It's a puzzle that the two big comic book studios have been trying to solve for some time. How can we humanize Superman? How can we strip away his perfection and make him more relatable, filled with flaws and imperfections? One natural consequence of such humanization is the theme of isolation. When you take a godlike figure and bring them down to our level, it's only logical that they might feel isolated, different from the rest of us. And when that happens, it's not a far leap to imagine that such a superhero could spiral into moral dissent. Think back to some of the earliest depictions of darker versions of Superman, like in the Great Darkness saga or the Dark Side Superman. These stories explored the idea of what happens when an all-powerful being loses touch with their humanity. Homelander's character in The Boys can be seen as a dark, twisted homage to the classic all-American superheroes that have become so prominent in the superhero cinema of our time. When you watch Homelander's first appearance in the series, where he foils a bank robbery, you might notice some familiar echoes. If you squint, you can see shades of Henry Cavill's Superman from the DCEU, and if you squint again, you might catch a glimpse of Chris Evans' Captain America. The essence of that scene is strikingly familiar. It's a man draped in the American flag, effectively impervious to bullets, who calmly walks into a bank to save the day. He then takes a moment to pose for selfies with a couple of kids, reminiscent of a similar scene in Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. Homelander also has the habit of wrapping up a rescue by telling the police and the public that they are the true heroes. This sentiment is a recurring theme in superhero cinema, where the idea of ordinary people as the real heroes is frequently emphasized. This notion of the inherent loneliness and the negative consequences of being a superhero is something that has been explored in other films as well, such as Hancock. It delves into the complexities and difficulties that come with possessing extraordinary abilities and trying to fit into a world that often doesn't fully understand or appreciate the sacrifices and struggles of these superpowered beings. Homelander's character in The Boys can be seen as an embodiment of the fears expressed by characters like Lex Luthor and Batman in the DCEU. It brings to mind the thought-provoking dialogue, "If God is all-powerful, he cannot be all good. If he's all good, he cannot be all-powerful." Homelander's hubris, stemming from his invincibility, leads him to view regular civilians with a perpetual smirk. This is reminiscent of the concerns that some DC characters had about the unchecked power of godlike beings. Last year's film, Brightburn, also explored the concept of an evil superhero, and it draws parallels with Homelander's character arc. In The Boys, it suggested that Homelander's lack of empathy might be linked to mommy issues, a recurring theme in the show. Even in Episode 7, the behavior of Ryan, Homelander's superpowered son, seems to hint at the possibility of him following an evil superhero arc. However, the finale of the series takes a different turn, suggesting that it might not be the case with the son. The future seasons will likely reveal whether Ryan turns into a character similar to Homelander. When it comes to the theme of paternal conflict, a film like Chronicle explores this angle. The character Andrew Detmer's aggression is driven by the abuse he suffered from his father. In a different vein, DC's acclaimed Joker portrays a similar theme, where a father-like figure, Thomas Wayne, plays a role in pushing Arthur Fleck towards his dark side. These examples illustrate how the relationship between fathers or father figures and their children can be a powerful motif in exploring the origins of superpowered characters and their moral journeys. The Boys indeed takes a unique approach to humanizing the superhero figure, something that Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight trilogy and Zack Snyder's DCEU didn't quite delve into to the same extent. Homelander's character is shown to have relatable elements like browsing through memes, and he even envisions himself causing chaos and outrage, yet he understands the consequences of his actions. Much like Superman, Homelander has his own kryptonite, in this case, a drug that he craves, and that becomes his downfall: social approval. This reflects the addictive nature of seeking validation in the social media generation, constantly craving dopamine hits from likes and shares. Drawing a comparison to M. Night Shyamalan's superhero trilogy, you can argue that Vogt in The Boys is doing something akin to what Mr. Glass theorizes, creating supervillains to counterbalance the heroes. Homelander, in essence, is unbreakable. Homelander is the result of many years of attempts to explore the realistic consequences of being a superhero, and The Boys stands out as one of the best in this genre. The upcoming seasons hold great potential for Homeland's character. We may witness him sinking to new depths, potentially shedding his facade as America's greatest hero. Now, you tell me, doesn't a character with much depth deserve a movie of its own? Well, that's it for today. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Make sure that you like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you at the next one.